Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, race fans, sim fans, RC fans, Racing 393. Okay, so I wasn't going to do another video on the Blockhead Wild one. I did one that's on my channel regarding the installation of my anti-roll bar front and rear and my under gearbox skid plate, if you like. But there was a couple of comments and suggestions which I took on board actually, so I thought it's a fair point. Now let me explain. On that video, I had some real trouble fitting the anti-roll bars, front and rear. It wasn't easy. I did the fronts, I filmed as much as I could, or as much as I thought I should say. And then upon doing the rears, I was running late for work. Well, not running late I was getting to the point where I needed to leave for work, but I still hadn't finished the rear anti-roll bar. Then I had a short space of time to finish it off, which I was doing, the back end. So I didn't really have the thought process to film it. I just wanted to get it done. And then upon completing that, I then filmed the completion. And what someone suggested was they wish they'd seen the installation of that as well. And I have to say, I agree. I have watched the video. It hasn't quite edited correctly either at the front. You may not see it, but there's a couple of shots which should have been in there, wasn't. I don't know why that was. It is really odd. And I don't normally watch my videos back. Occasionally I do, ones that I feel might need, I don't know, just more so to improve myself. But anyway, I did watch this one back and it wasn't quite right. And I agree, and it sort of jumped to a finished product, and I thought, yeah, I can see why. That's not quite, yeah, it's missing a bit. So the last part of the video, I mentioned there's a couple of little tasks to do on this car. Now, again, I'm not gonna show you some of these, I've already done them. So the purpose of this video is to, in future, to try and incorporate other little tasks that I might do that might interest people. I'm sure gluing tyres on rims is not interesting, so I've done that already. I've only glued the outside. Why? Well, very, very, very rare if I've had the inside of a tyre come off, and secondly, this ain't going to be used till it's worn out. So you could argue I need to do it at all, but it's funny, these tyres are not. They do go on there, they fit in the bead quite nicely, and they probably could have done, I don't think they needed to be glued, but I have anyway. I've got the same tyres on my Hot Shot, and I think I used it in the garden, like testing it out, and the tyre came off the bead, so who knows. Anyway, yeah, so I've only done the outside, so there's no point showing you that. The other thing I've done, which I'm just going to move the camera. So the front shock absorbers on this car, the originals and these ones, the problem with this car, it's got no front end weight at all. It's everything is behind the rear axle. Even the battery is way down here. The only thing in the front is a servo and a bit of wiring. Got an aluminium front bumper on there, but it's not heavy. So the inherent problem with this car is it's just the front end is shocking. Now there's loads on the internet, and people have done a really good job getting the front softer. I mean, it is a simple case of putting the right springs and appropriate shocks on there. These shock absorbers, these ones that you can see here, these and the back are the same. They came from Korea. I can't remember, I'll come back to that in a minute. Korea, it's an important part on this particular conversation. I can't remember what company it was. It was something, oddly enough, that I saw on an advert. It was nothing to do with RC at the time, apart from this little advert that I sort of found on the internet. It's like the internet's like. Anyway, I went on that. Cut a long story short, the end. No, cut a long story short, I bought these shocks. Now, they're great. They're much better, front and rear. So they're the front ones. It's a close up of the rears. Now the springs on the rears, that's what came with the shocks, so they're probably a little bit too soft. So I've wound the platform down and it's stiffened the spring up. Works a lot better. Now these front ones, as you can see, they're blue. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. They are actually from another set of shocks which have got nothing to do with the wild one, but the springs are sort of very similar diameter, so I've put those on. It is ever so slightly softer. One other task to do, and just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to move the camera and pretty put the car on its side and show you an adjustment that I need to do, so just bear with me. Right, so the car's up on its side, so I'll just show you something. So the bottom of the front anti-roll bar is connected to the bottom link, or the bottom fixing point of the shock. So there's a bolt there that runs all that sort of long bolt, and that fits the shock on. The bottom of the bolt here, that link there, that bottom link you can see, is the bottom of the anti-roll bar, and it goes up, as you can probably see, and connects to the anti-roll bar here. Now that is a grub screw there, it's got my little tool next to. I just need to undo that and move that slider towards the front of the car because, listen, the link itself just rubs on that there. So I'm just going to move that in, and that'll move that bit there away. That'll stop that. Also, I need to do the toe in, the toe on the car, by adjusting that, but I don't think I've got a tool for that. And I've got a different track control arm the other side. I tried to put an aftermarket one on. It didn't really work, if I'm honest. And I haven't taken these off. They are stronger. The ones that came with the kit are thinner, and they just fit onto the servo horn by hooking in. They don't actually pop on. Where these ones pop on with the ball joint. I've got a feeling they're too strong, but it's not being raced. I'm only going up and down like an empty runway, so I'll take it or leave it as it is as that. So I'm just going to adjust these. There's both sides, and then we're done really. I mean, you don't want to see me track the car. I mean, that's not exactly interesting, is it? So I will do that off camera, but I'll be back in a second once I've done those links. All done. Yeah, easy. So clicking that now, well, moving the shock. There's no movement there now, it's not clicking. The other side, nothing, both together. So there's no front binding, so that's good. It's only got to move like a fraction. You can see that the front toe, when on full droop, does toe out. I'm going to have a quick look to see if I've got anything to do that with, but other than that, I'll do a quick closing either way. So I've done the front. I'll show you. Let me just move the camera. It's as good as it's going to be. Just bear with me. So looking down, not perfect down on it, but through the camera it looks like it's toeing in now, but it isn't. In real life, it might be very fractionally toeing in, but it could be just this, it could be the steering servo is not perfectly straight. Might need to trim it up. The track control arms are right on their extremity, so I can't go much further than that, but I can come in a bit, so it's probably a good thing. So there we are. Let me just do a quick closing. So there we have it. Tamiya Wild One Blockhead. With a few upgrades. Now I've done my best to include most of the information there. Going forward, I will try and include relevant information on future videos, as suggested. On a final note, there's a lot of aluminium upgrades with this car, and I mean a lot. Nothing to do with Tamiya, and most of it, I say most, there's a lot of it on eBay. Easy to find, and there's huge amounts, like from aluminium chassis, anti-roll bar front and rear. I'm sure there's obviously the skid plate I put on there. There's lots of others, and I did mention that I did see an aluminium roll cage. Now I've been looking for that forever, and again I stumbled across something of which I can't find, and then I'm starting to think, was it aluminium? Something caught my eye, and I thought, oh look, it was a lot of money, and it was in some, again I think it was Korea. It must have been, because that's where I was looking for these shops, and that's kind of how I sort of come across it. But anyway, I cannot find that now. I would have put a link in the description, but I just don't know where to look. Yesterday, I looked for ages, and all I could find was chrome-plated plastic roll cages, and they could be seen on eBay. So it wasn't eBay. So yeah, I'm gonna have to I'll backtrack. I don't know where that link was. I don't know where I saw it. It definitely was, because I had to look twice. I thought, an aluminium, but it was a lot of money. It worked out over £100 pounds, 100 English pounds. So it's probably about $120. It's probably about 100 euros as well, to be honest. Yeah, but I can't find it now. So there's been a couple of people asking for that, but yeah, don't know. I'd get one. I'd get a roll cage, because I say easy to fit, don't ever say that, but it's probably easier to fit. Anyway, that's it. I'll try and include links to things I find in future videos. If I think of it, I will add it to this video for the alley parts for this car. So just a seller on eBay that sells stuff. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that kind of hit a few of the missing points. The next video for this car will be a running video, so we won't be taking it out anytime soon. To get like a clear weekend, and more importantly, a dry weekend. Although it has been fairly dry recently, so we'll see what I can do. We'll get it out, get it running, see what we can get out of this. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, thanks for your feedback, appreciate everyone's points of view. It's all interesting, and see you later, and bye for now.